Hi, everyone. Maybe just to introduce myself and my husband here. I'm Reverend Juliet Manhivi, and this is Senior Reverend Lenmo Manhivi. We are hub leaders for the Joburg and Western Cape Hub in South Africa. Yes, so how did we get here? How did you get to be reverends, I suppose?
Yes. So I think it has been a journey. For me, the journey started in 2001 when I moved to Harvest House International. I got born again at an early age of 8 years when my mother got born again, and then I had to be born again. You know, during our days when your mother is born again, you better be born again too. So then I got born again in a very good church. But at some stage, I felt I needed something. I felt there was something that God wanted from me. And that's how I ended up in Harvest House International Church, because I felt there was so much for me to learn and to prepare me for the years to come. So I suppose that was the call of God. I didn't know that at that stage, but I just felt this was a place for me. There's something that this place had for me, and I had to be here. So I've been a harvester since 2001.
Wow. I'm a harvester by marriage.
So I harvested here.
I'm actually the Makoti. So I came to Harvest House through marriage, 2008.
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember how we met?
Yes, I do. We met through mutual friends. Yeah, through mutual friends.
In Bulawayo?
In Bulawayo, yeah.
At Wimpy?
Yes, at Wimpy. 3 months.
Yeah, we got to know each other for about 3
after,
months. After 3 months.
3 months, yes.
But I think what's something special, and I think it's linked to the call of God, was the day one we met. I remember spending some time with you. I didn't want a relationship then. I was one of those shy guys, and I didn't have the confidence to approach the ladies. But also at that stage, I just wanted to seek God, and I felt I wasn't ready for a relationship. But that day when I met you, we spoke for a while.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Talking about souls. Yes, the first time we met, we spent 3 hours talking about souls, because I was into crusades. You used to do lots of crusades from our church, lots of crusades and
I used to do outreaches at college, at NAST.
Yeah. So 3 hours, first time we met, talking about souls, our love for God and our love for serving in the house of God. Yeah, I remember.
I was very fascinated about you. I never thought there were sisters that loved God the way you demonstrated, in our conversation. So of course we've just met. We had nothing really that we never thought of the relationship, but just to share our experiences. For me, I think it was a wow. I think that whole day, I was just thinking, there are still some sisters that are passionate about serving God and about going crusades and going to all remote areas and ministering and so forth. So I think that's really special, and probably that's what connected me to you.
So that's what you liked about me?
I think that's what kept me fascinated about you.
Wow.
And kept me, of course, we met 2 weeks later and so forth. But what kept the conversations going in the initial stages was actually your love for crusades and for souls.
That's very interesting. For me, I think it was the fact that you were an usher in Harvest House, because back then Harvest House used to be this big church, this English church, if I might say.
You see, ushering got me a wife.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harvest House International Church.
So for you to be an usher in such a big church, you must be spiritual.
Wow.
Yeah. I think for me, that was it.
You remind me of my days as an usher. I was an usher for 8 years at 13th Avenue. I think those were special times for preparation and for growing as a servant in the house of God. Yes.
Oh, it's interesting. And how did you propose? I think that was very interesting as well.
We are supposed to talk about the call of God. But anyway.
But it's also linked, because that's what, remember, we shared same love to be
Yes.
to be helpers, especially to our pastors.
Oh,
To
yes.
serve our pastors, to make life comfortable for our pastors.
Yeah.
To do any menial job in the
Yes.
church. I think that's what really connected us. And I remember you laying out a vision, saying, you know,
Yeah.
after graduating, you're still at NAS by then.
I was still a student,
I just
yes.
finished UZ.
Correct, yeah.
And you were just laying out your vision, and you're saying, you know, after NAST, I'm going to study this, I'm going to become this. And part of the package was, you're going to serve God. It was more like servants, like as
Yes.
serving God. Not really.
That was the vision was serving
The vision
God.
was serving God, you know, like just to run around, you know, just to help our pastors. I think that
Absolutely.
was the vision. And that's something that we both shared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still remember the date, by the way. 25 September 2004, in the late afternoon. Somewhere in town, I won't tell you where, but somewhere in town.
It was only chicken in that was special during our time.
Well, at least that's what I could afford back then. So yeah, it happened in Chicken Inn. But yeah, so the vision was always there. It's very fascinating, though, that during those early days, the vision was there. I didn't want to acknowledge that I would go into ministry full time, ministry at some stage. But I think the ministry aspect was always there. But I think I also remember telling you that there is a possibility that I could go into ministry. I wasn't confident, but I think I did say that there was a possibility. Do you remember your response?
Yes, I think it was a clear no. Because I never saw
Why?
myself being married to a pastor. I used to think being a pastor is just a lot of work. And I don't know. I had my own fears. Yeah, so I think, I never wanted to be married to a pastor. But anyway, fast forward 2008, we were married.
2008, we got married.
Yeah.
Things were tough for those that lived during that period. And then soon after our marriage, we moved to South Africa. And and then I think we're in South Africa from 2008. And then 2010, we were appointed as elders in the Johannesburg church back then. So we were this young couple. And then I still remember my pastor, I gave him some conditions. I said to him, Pastor, let's be clear. This eldership thing is not a trap into pastoring.
Yeah.
I'm only accepting to be an elder, and that's it.
Yes. And no pulpit ministry whatsoever.
Yes.
Leading prayer.
I think it was mainly preaching
and
that
preaching
I didn't
as
want.
well. For me, it was everything to do with the pulpit.
You didn't want to be on the pulpit?
No.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to apologize to my pastor then that I gave him all these conditions. But thank God the pastor was very patient with us. But anyway, after we became elders, once in a while, we would be asked to preach.
No, for you.
Yes.
Me, I never preached
You never
when I was
preached.
an elder. No,
Yeah,
not
I
at
preached
all.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe 2-3 times a year or something like that.
In the 4 years.
In the 4 years we were elders.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. But I think that first step to accept to becoming an elder was one of the significant steps into the call of God. Maybe one thing I must also mention, when I was at 13th Avenue, when fourth service was being pioneered, my pastor, Professor Mwenje, then picked me to be part of his team, and then we pioneered the fourth service. So I was in the board. That also gave me a lot of experience and a lot of insights in how church happens, and I think that was significant. My pastor introduced me to the pulpit by doing announcements. Now, doing announcements in this big church back then was a big deal. I think, if I remember well, I would fast to pray, to prepare to give announcements for 5 minutes. I think that's really fascinating. But I think also, I thank God for that, because it introduced me to the pulpit.
Yeah.
You know, looking at all these people, talking in front of people, it didn't come naturally for me. But I think those were the baby steps.
Wow.
Yes. How did we become pastors, by the way? So 4 years we were elders in Johannesburg, from 2010 to 2014. Do you remember how we became pastors?
I remember it was a phone call from Bishop.
From
right?
Bishop.
To be
Maybe
interim
before we get there,
Yes.
I think there was a Jonah effect along the way.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The Jonah effect.
The Jonah effect.
We refused to be pastors for at least 3 times, right? 3 times we're refusing. We asked to start a work, we refused.
Yeah.
Asked again, we refused. 3rd time, we refused. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 times we refused.
To be pastors.
How were we cornered? We were really cornered. If there's someone who knows how to corner people to accept the call of God, it is yours truly, Daddy Bishop Sinyati.
I still remember that phone call.
The phone call. We had just received our first baby.
Yes, we had just received, yes. Ben was just a few days old, actually.
Yeah.
When Bishop asked us to be interim pastors for 3
Yes.
months. Yes.
Yeah. But interim pastors was because we had refused to
We
be
had
pastors.
refused to be pastors, yeah. I think that was the catch.
That was the catch. That was the harvest effect. There's always a catch.
There's always a catch. And then soon after 3 months,
So 3 months we were interim pastors while the pastors were on their way. I think the 3 months were significant in the sense that they helped us to see, what is possible. Some of the fears that we had, we thought maybe there could be something in this thing. Maybe it could work. So I think that really helped us to get to accept the call of God. Yeah. What were your fears?
my fear was people's faces. For me, it has always been people's faces. I think my greatest fear was, just to be analyzed, criticized, and also, one of the greatest fear also was, since in Harvest House, we don't have lady pastors, we've got pastors. So there's an expectation that as a pastor, as a lady pastor, you also have to do the work. So I think one of the
You're a pastor in your own right.
Yes, so the fear was, will I be able to do this? Will I be able to have, will I be able to speak in front of people? Because, ministry, I used to think that you need to be eloquent. You need to be, special for you to be a pastor. That was my default setting. And I thought, actually I never thought I was called, really. I never thought I was called into ministry because I never saw myself, especially in the fivefold. For me, it was, as long as I'm assisting, helping, running around, loving God, for me, that was enough. So I can say my greatest fear was people's faces. And, will I be effective in this? Will I be able to speak? Will I run out of sermons,
For me, I think one of my fears was, how do you preach every weekend?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Of course, now we are being taught that your pastor must preach at least how many times a week?
5 times a week.
5 times a week.
By then you're struggling with...
By then I was afraid of doing 1 a week. I thought I would run out of sermons. I think for me that was one of my greatest fears. I was also afraid of failing. Especially if you are coming to take over an existing church where there was another pastor. My fear was, what if everybody runs away and I'm left with me and my wife and our child? So the fear of failing was also quite significant amongst many other fears. I think the other challenge is always to say that pastoring is difficult.
It's work.
I can't really say it's easier.
It's work.
But it's work, but there's the grace effect.
Yes.
We don't always do everything that we do by our own power. It's more of the grace of God. So maybe one of the things that I've learned over time is to turn the fear into positives. Because that fear, especially during those 3 months when we're interim pastors, that fear drew us to seek God more, to pray more, to study the Bible more,
and depend on His grace.
And depend on God's grace. But also, it took away the independent spirit because we were very inexperienced. We didn't know much. Of course, we were assisting our pastors. There were menial tasks, administrative tasks.
Now you're on the forefront of things.
Yes.
When you're assisting,
you're in the background, But administratively, I think we were quite okay. But the forefront duties that a pastor would do, we were still afraid. So the we never had to struggle with independence because we'd always run back to Bishop to ask, to look for guidance, to get direction because we were afraid. So I can say that fear in a way saved us because we were dependent on God. We were also dependent on our leaders to guide us, in the journey of pastoring. So 2014 we became pastors eventually. All right. So the 3 months came and went away. Was it 2 years after that?
Yes.
2 or so years, and then Bishop came knocking again. Do you remember?
Yes, the phone call.
The phone call. Yes. I think he phoned our pastor then, was our hub leader. And then we were asked to be pastors at the Randbeck Church.
Yeah.
So that was our first assignment as pastors. Yeah. Randbeck was really something for us. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we grew.
Yes.
We grew in Randbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had to preach every Sunday now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mom Fundis here to
And
be
it
mom.
was becoming real. I think the call was becoming real.
The call was becoming real.
Yes.
Yes. Remember where we started?
In the garage.
Yeah.
In the garage. We started church in the garage.
Yes.
With few people. I think we're less than 20.
20, average of 20, I think, from the time we got
in
there.
the garage. And by
Yes.
God's grace, we moved.
We moved to a nearby creche.
Yeah.
It was a very small room which could take how many people? Maybe 40?
Maybe 40.
Yeah.
But we never got to 40.
We never got to 40 at that
Yes.
place.
Yeah.
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 And then we moved
And then we moved.
to another place.
It was actually on the same road.
Yeah.
I think that's
All
the
these three
miracle
places
about the
were in the
Randbeck
same-
Church. It
same
was on
road.
the same road. Yeah.
Probably 1 or 2 kilometers apart
Yes.
from each other.
Yeah.
And then we had lots of growth and, of course, lots of experiences in the Randbeck Church. Fast forward, the church has now managed to buy that particular building that the church is at. Yeah. And then after some time, Bishop came knocking again. If there is anyone who knows how to keep knocking, it is Bishop. And I would love to appreciate my bishop so much for being so patient with us, particularly during the days of running away, the days of fears and
Days of ignorance.
uncertainty and also ignorance as well. So, but Bishop never gave up on us. He kept on knocking. He kept on affirming us. And, I remember one day driving with him when he was in Johannesburg. I asked him, I said, Bishop, you keep on talking about this call of God upon our lives. What exactly are you seeing in us? Because we don't see that. And he took his time, obviously, to explain and so forth. And I think it is really one of the great reasons why we're standing today as pastors is because of that fatherly voice that he is and the patience to keep on knocking, to keep on telling you what he sees in you. Yeah.
So how did you receive the call of God?
How did I receive the call of God?
Yes.
A few things that I can recall. I think the first thing that happened unawares was I already talked about how I became a harvester since 2001. I felt God wanted something more from me. So I think inwardly, the call was there. Of course, I didn't know it. I didn't recognize it. I didn't fully embrace it there back then. But then the other thing that happened is that I think my life in the church, particularly in Harvest House, I was always playing around the pastors. According to me, I believed that God wanted me to be a servant. So I was there serving my pastors. So I served my pastor in the Bible school. I served the pastors that were leading Bible school then, different roles to support the Bible school back then. Even when we moved to Johannesburg, I say to my pastor, anything that you need, I am here. I remember at some stage, before there was not too many people with cars in Johannesburg, I had some little car. We would, drive from across town to the other side to pick up pastor. I just wanted to serve. We were satisfied in just serving. So I can say, I think there was a lot of impartation that happened because I was playing around pastors. Unawares, these things were dropping inside of me. Yeah, and maybe the other thing is that I also think it was also, in the prophetic word. Yes, many times there would be people coming to speak prophetic words to me, but I didn't like the prophetic words. Here's what used to happen. I had a friend, very close friend of mine. So the friend of mine would receive prophetic words about money. You will make a lot of money. You've got the grace for money. You will become this and that. He would always get those words, and I envied him for that. But when it came to me, it was about God will give you a burden for souls. You will do that. It was all linked to ministry. So the prophetic word upon my life was mainly concerning ministry. My friend on the other side, it was about money, and I envied him for that.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember when we moved to Johannesburg as well during our first few months? Used to remember what used to happen? All the people that would come visiting, anyone who felt like prophesying.
Who just pick on us.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
How did it make you feel?
I didn't like it at all.
It was always the prophetic words about you're called.
Yeah, you're called so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
big time.
Yeah. I must say though, I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Did you believe it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And okay, maybe share your own.
How did
How did you end up?
receive
How did you
the
receive?
call? For me, what I can say, I think is I received by appointment. Like when we are appointed to be elders and then appointed to be pastors, senior pastors, reverends. I think for me, how did I receive the call? I think it was by appointment. Like others in the Bible, Jeremiah, for example, Jeremiah received the call through the word of God, where God said to him, I've ordained you to be a prophet to the nations. We see different people receiving the call, different. For Paul, it was spectacular, dramatic. For me, I didn't see an angel. Jesus didn't appear in my sleep I wasn't struck by lightning. For me, it was simply by
burning bush.
appointment, no burning bush experience. It was simply by appointment, by appointment, being appointed by the bishop, to be an elder and harvester, to be a pastor, and now is reverend. So that's how the call came to me, by appointment.
Yeah. So I really think that also that it's important to understand that the call of God is the next big thing after salvation.
Yes.
I know you love that subject. Do you want to say
2
something?
Timothy 1 verse 9.
Correct,
I
yes.
believe. I love that verse. Yeah, it says soon after salvation, God has saved us and called us with a holy calling, which is not based on our works, but really is the grace of God and the purpose that God has concerning our lives. I think that scripture really liberated me earlier, later on in ministry, to realize that, like I said earlier on, I never saw myself as someone who was called. I used to think that called people are special in a way. You need to be eloquent. You need to, have a certain, I don't know.
But you are eloquent.
A certain, I don't know. It was just mysterious for me. It seemed like it's people that are closer to God that are called. I never saw myself as, having to be called by God. But scripture really is clear that the next big thing that follows soon after salvation is the call of God. And it's a holy calling, which is a very special calling.
A peculiar calling.
A peculiar calling.
It's special to you.
Yes. And now I really believe that I'm called. The Bible says many are called. Many means many.
Yes.
I'm part of the many.
Yeah. Many means you are probably called.
Yeah.
Many means if there are many people,
yes,
then it's the majority. So,
high chances we are all called.
In high chances you are called. Yes, But also I think when I think of the call of God as well, the other big thing is that, to trust your leaders, especially now after going through all the different experiences. I think just trusting our leaders, the bishops, I think it was one of the big steps towards me stepping into the call of God. Like what the Bible says, God goes to Moses and he says, go and tell Levi that I have called them into the service of the ministry, into the priesthood. So God never really went to tell Levi, but God actually spoke to Moses, and Moses was going to tell Levi and bring them into their calling. So if Levi had waited to hear God about the call, Levi would have waited for a long time because the message from God had already gone to Moses. And I think that's one of the big things that many people miss. And I think I was waiting for that actually. I wanted to be so sure and to be so confident that I'm called. But with what I know now, I think just putting trust into my bishop, that whatever he's seeing, he sees right. I think it helped me to accept the call of God, particularly when also we were reassigned responsibilities. That voice became a very, very important voice. That if I may not be sure that I'm called, but surely Bishop hears God, he is doing the right thing. He has surely heard that I am called. I think that was also another comforting or affirmation or confirmation of the call of God upon my life. Anything else you want to share on the call of God?
No, I think really it's important that we embrace the call of God. And one thing that I regret really is accepting the call late. late. I wished I'd said yes a long time ago, because the call is everything. It's life itself. There's nothing more satisfying than working for God. But actually, God is the biggest, most important employer.
Most rewarding employer.
Most rewarding. Yes, it does come with its own challenges. Challenges will always be there, regarding ministry. But to be employed, because to be called by God, it means that God has just selected you, He has just called you, like the same way you'd call Ben, it's called you by name. Like when Samuel was called, Samuel, God has actually called you by name to do something special for him. So for me, when I look at the call of God, really, it's God calling me to work for him, which is, I can't compare with any employer on this earth.
Yes.
Because it's something that we carry on to eternity as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me as well, I think it is very fulfilling. I'm an accountant by training. I love accounting work. It keeps me very busy though, but also to realize that you can do both. I can do my accounting work, I am working, but I'm fulfilling my calling as well. So I think that is also something that I've learned, that you can try to balance, we talk of balance, I don't think balance ever exists, but what I can say is you can certainly do both. You can work and you can be a pastor,
Give it your best.
you can be a hub leader, and I can be a husband.
Yeah.
And I can be a father as well.
A friend and uncle.
And a friend and an uncle.
Yeah.
I can be many things. So I think that has also been, a blessing and a joy. And I love the fact that I'm a pastor. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. So I'm also appreciative to Bishop for appointing me as a pastor, because it's one of the best things that I've ever, gotten myself into.
Wow.
Yeah. So where are we now as people that are called of God?
So now we are reverends. We are leading a hub.
Yes. From the time you never thought you are called?
Yes. It's a miracle. I think God is full of humor. Yeah, wow. You never know what, you never know what God has. He doesn't give you the full picture, the full story, but as we are walking each day, trusting God, we are beginning to discover that, there are a lot of things in that call, that are so exciting, so challenging, but rewarding at the same time.
Yes,
yeah.
We have heard about the call within a call.
Yes, call within a call.
So there are many things. The call of God encompasses a lot of things.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So my harvest effect.
Yes.
My harvest effect is, when I came into Harvest House, I never thought that I was called at all. I never thought I had something that I would offer, in the kingdom of God. I never thought, God would actually call me into the fivefold. Yeah, especially the fivefold, But I'm so grateful to Bishop Dr. Colin Nyati, together with Mom Bishop Sarah Nyati. They saw something in me that I myself, never saw.
Yeah.
And they still do, because there's some things that Mom says that I have no idea. Sometimes I'm like, really? Yeah. And I remember when we are appointed as pastors, as hub leaders, Bishop says something to me that, he just said, "Ma'am, you are well able," and those words have kept me up until today. So each time I'm given an assignment, I just, those words just ring again and again. You are well able, you are well able. And I think that's the importance of fathers and mothers, that, you don't have to walk the journey alone. They've walked the journey, so you just ride on their wings, which is a blessing.
It is a blessing indeed.
That's my harvest effect.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Bishop. I don't know what you saw. Sometimes I don't see it, but I just continue to believe God and trust God. Yeah.
Yes. Right. And my harvest effect, I think it's how many years now? 24 years as a harvester. I owe my whole life to Harvest House International Church. All the exposures, I think I started seeing all the nice things at church.
Yes. And the nice food. And how to use fork and knife. Remember, Mom taught you how to use fork and knife. Thank you so much, Mom. You didn't know how to use fork and knife. You remember?
I was a young man. There are many things that I've learned
Yes,
in the
a
church.
lot, yeah.
And dreams as well. I started dreaming by seeing other people at church. You would see couples, when you see Bishop, how he related with his wife and children, my pastor as well. So these became fathers and role models that modeled life for us to say, when I grow up, I think I want to be like that. And of course, there will be obviously other examples of I don't want to be like that. But I'm grateful for church because it gives us role models to look up to. In where I'm coming from, there wasn't much, in terms of role models. But church provided that for me as well.
Yeah.
I lost my dad almost a year after I came into Harvest House International Church. So I found fathers in Harvest House International Church. My father, I hardly had any time to teach me about manhood and fatherhood, but I found that in church. Yeah. So everything I know about being a father, being a husband, most of it is what I've learned from church. To be a pastor now that I'm a pastor, I've learned all that from church. So I owe my whole life,
Harvest
in
House
church.
has been a blessing.
Harvest House has been a great
and also,
blessing.
sweetheart, just to serve God in excellence.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, not to do shoddy work for God.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to cut corners.
Yes.
And that also is spilled into our marriage, into our family
Into our
life, even in
personal
our
lives.
businesses as well, and career.
Yes.
Just
career.
not to cut corners, just to be excellent
Yes.
in everything that you do. I think that has been a great blessing.
It is indeed has been a great. I still remember Mom teaching us that you can't be a young man who walks around town eating. So that I caught very well. Until today, when I want to eat, I sit down and eat and then do what I have to do. I don't travel around crisscrossing streets while eating. I think those are some of the finer things that we have been taught. And Mom taught me as well in Bible school when I did my first year, second year. I think I was in the newspaper as well.
Oh.
Yeah. I was in the newspaper when we graduated. It must have been around 2003. And I think I was best student. So my face came out in the newspaper.
Wow.
So I would have never been in a newspaper had it not been for Harvest House International Church. So I think for me, it's really my whole life. And Bishop has really been very good to us, being patient with us while we are running away from the call of God. I think the guidance that we constantly get, the encouragement,
and the instructions,
yes,
and the commands.
Attempting great things for God.
Yes.
I've also learned that Bishop is one man who will, almost sometimes he makes you believe that you can
do anything.
Yeah, you can own blower.
You can actually fly.
I've received that phone call a couple of times, and he tells me, "No, man, you can do this thing," and I've believed him. I've actually believed that some of the things that he has helped me to do, crazy things, really, but it's really because of that voice, that affirmation, the edge to attempt great things. And I think we have not really done much, but the desire to attempt great things is there.
The seed is there.
The seed is there, definitely. So we're looking forward to fulfilling our calling in the day.
We are looking forward to fulfilling our calling.
Yes.
Foolproof our calling.
Foolproof our calling, fulfill our calling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to our testimony.
Yes. It's been a great blessing. All right. Thank you.